I'm Larry Aylward, custom content editor for Meister Media Worldwide, the publisher of Crop Life magazine. I'd like to welcome Dr. Aaron Waltz, the Chief Technology Officer at Ostara, an enhanced efficiency fertilizer company based in St. Louis. Dr. Waltz is going to answer some questions about Ostara's Crystal Green fertilizer, the first high-efficiency phosphate fertilizer to release nutrients in response to plant demand. First, a little bit about Dr. Waltz. His involvement in agriculture began on his family's farms in Nebraska. He earned a master's degree and a PhD from the University of Nebraska-Lincoln in agronomy and horticulture, specializing in weed science. Dr. Waltz began his career at DuPont Pioneer, focusing on corn genetics and transgenic traits. He has worked in technology development roles in the adjuvants, biologicals, and fertilizer industries with a constant focus on crop production and product development. Dr. Waltz is driven by his passion for connecting hardworking growers with sustainable technology solutions to help feed the world. Dr. Waltz, welcome.
Thank you, Larry. Thanks for having me.
Dr. Waltz, explain what Crystal Green is and how it works.
Ostara produces a highly efficient phosphate fertilizer called Crystal Green. It is an analysis with 5-28-0-10 magnesium that allows phosphorus to be available all season long when the crops need it. Crystal Green keeps crops satisfied with the nutrients they need, phosphorus, magnesium, and nitrogen, through critical phases of development throughout the season. Growers are continually faced with doing more for less in terms of economics, time management, the environment, and agronomics. One of these areas is with a major crop input fertilizers and phosphorus fertilizer in particular. Crystal Green is a highly efficient phosphate fertilizer that allows crops to get the nutrients they need throughout the growing season.
What makes Crystal Green different from other phosphate fertilizers?
What makes Crystal Green so unique and efficient, and also different from other phosphate fertilizers on the market, is the solubility of the fertilizer. This is due in part to the different crystal structure of the phosphorus fertilizer in Crystal Green. Crystal Green is primarily not water soluble. Rather, Crystal Green responds to crop demand by releasing nutrients as plants exude organic acids. Conventional phosphate fertilizers are terribly inefficient, with less than 20% of applied phosphorus being available when the crops need it that season. Growers also face a more strict regulatory environment and continued scrutiny on what they do each and every day and how they do it. Crystal Green helps the growers by delivering phosphorus when the crops need it, and also prevents environmental losses of phosphorus due to soil tie-up, runoff, and leaching.
What results are you seeing from growers that use Crystal Green?
Growers have incorporated Crystal Green into their standard phosphorus fertilizer practices with no issue. Even with reduced rates of phosphorus, leaf tissue samples of nutrients are showing similar results between Crystal Green and the grower standard, whatever the grower would typically use for their phosphorus fertilizer source. Early field results are showing improved plant health and equal yield with reduced phosphorus, or the potential for increased yield even with phosphorus reductions.
How are you working with retailers to bring Crystal Green to more acres?
It's a great question, Larry. First and foremost, we are bringing online a new fertilizer plant based in St. Louis, and we'll have shortly the opportunity to produce 200,000 tons of Crystal Green each year. We are also increasing our sales staff, our agronomy staff, to provide season-long and off-season support to the retailers and also the growers in their areas. We also just started a marketing campaign, Don't Let Your Crops Get Hangry. Crystal Green does just that, feeding the crops season long so the crops don't get hangry.
Dr. Waltz, thanks very much for taking the time to talk about Crystal Green and how it differentiates from other phosphorus fertilizers.
And remember, Larry, don't let your crops get hangry.